Hi guys, today's video is again sponsored by Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. You guys have seen me play around with the Silhouette Stag and the Silhouette Sailboat. So this is the Silhouette Wolf. You guys often ask me for masculine cards, so I thought this would be a great masculine card to give to someone. You know, and then you have all kinds of sentiments you can put on there. Happy birthday, you know, happy Father's Day, stuff like that. So, you know, wolf pack, things like that. So, I'm actually just going to replicate this, and I'm already cut down a piece of Bristol smooth paper. This is 5 1/4 by 4. I have the stamp mounted in the MISTI ready to go, and we are going to be using regular distress inks in mustard seed, spiced marmalade, and abandoned coral. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, and the first color is the mustard seed. And I'm doing it on my tonic mat here just because it'll be easier to clean up. And we're just going to blend across the bottom. I love using Bristol Smooth on this kind of image, or this kind of blending I should say, because it is really smooth. It makes it really easy to blend these colors together. You don't get any streaking. It really does make a difference in what kind of paper you have, and I know oftentimes I say use what you have, but there are certain techniques in which you get better success by using different kinds of papers. You know, obviously we have stamping paper, we have alcohol coloring paper, we have blending paper, we have watercolor paper, so, you know, there is different kind out there. Now, I know there are different brands. I have Bristol Smooth water paper, which is like, I think it's Canson. I don't know what it is. It's an expensive brand. And then there's a generic brand out there that's sold by AC Moore. And I can tell you that I cannot tell the difference between the two. So in terms of brand, I don't think it matters as long as it says it's Bristol Smooth. So I just laid down the orange, which is the spiced marmalade. And now I'm just coming back in with the mustard seed and just kind of blending that line right there. And then the last one is abandoned coral, which is it's like a red, orange, pink kind of color. It really is like a coral, but it has like a red, orange undertone to it. All right, so now in these spots here, if you don't want your fingerprints showing up, I did see this, and I always forget to do it. You take a piece of Post-it tape and just put it on your finger so that when you're holding your paper down, you're not lifting up the ink you've already laid down with your fingers and leaving fingerprints in there. This is a really, really simple card to do. And I think when we do masculine cards, we tend to overthink it or over-embellish it. And let's be honest, most guys are going to be like, yeah, I don't really care. I think we care more about these cards than they do. So you don't want to put too much effort into making a masculine card. You know, it is nice to make a masculine card, but again, you want to think about your own time and effort. And I feel like sometimes when we put so much time and effort into something and maybe the recipient doesn't appreciate it, we get a little disappointed. But you know, you can only work on yourself. You can't work on other people. If they're just not into handmade cards, we can't make them be. And this is an easy card that you can make several of them so that you have a stack ready to go. Maybe you just don't have sentiments on them. But, you know, they're in your pile. They're ready to go. So all you have to do is throw a quick sentiment on them. I'm just darkening up this abandoned coral a little more. And notice as I blend, I go in a circular motion and I work my way down into the areas where they overlap a little. So we're getting this kind of, you know, sunset look. And going back in with the spiced marmalade and doing the middle. Just adding an extra layer here to darken it up a little bit. And then going back in with the mustard seed. So I think that's pretty good for our background panel. All right, now before I stamp it, I'm just going to spray down my mat and sop that up a little bit. Just because I don't want any ink there when I go to glue it to my card panel. Okay, so you guys can see there's the card panel. Oops, there we go. All right, so I have the stamp already mounted in my mini MISTI, and I know that I want my card base to be one square up from the bottom. So I'm butting it all the way up against the edge, but it's one grid line up. We are going to be stamping this multiple times to get a solid black image. Remember to remove your foam piece out of your MISTI because this is a red rubber stamp. And since this is the first time I am using this stamp, I am going to just clean it off real quick. I want to make sure that there's no debris or anything on there because we want a nice solid image. So I just sprayed some cleaner on there. And I'm wiping it down with a microfiber towel. I just want to make sure there is no dust or debris on my stamp. Like right there, it looked like there was a piece of adhesive on there. Okay, and then today I'm going to be using, instead of VersaFine Clear, I'm going to be using the archival black ink, jet black ink. And I do have my little handy dandy Blue Night rubber stamps mount on there. Now, the archival ink will be permanent. I just want to see how it compares to using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne black ink, which is my normal go-to for black ink. And I want to do the panel first and ink over it because if you had inked it first, if you had stamped it first and then put the panel over it, put the background colors over it, they may have kind of muted the silhouette down. So I want that silhouette as black as I can get it. So as you can see, the image is not super black, which I kind of suspected. So we are going to go back in and ink it again. There's definitely some blotchiness there. And what's great about silhouette stamps is they're so easy to use. What's bad about them is they do take some time to get them to stamp full coverage. Getting better. I think this is probably going to take another 2 times to get this impression the way I want it. Almost there. So before I stamp it the last time, I'm just going to real quick just wipe all this excess ink off of here. really needs to be inked is right in the middle here, the bottom of the wolf, in the middle of our little mountain hill that he's standing on. All right, he looks pretty good. One more time on our little hill. All right, so I think that's as good as it's going to get with this ink. It's really not too bad. I think I still prefer the VersaFine Clair. But what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. So then all I would do is probably mat this on black card and then put it on a regular card base and stamp my sentiment on the top or the inside or something. But I think it's a super cute stamp. And again, it is the Silhouette Wolf from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. As always, thanks for watching and keep on stamping. Bye-bye.